Let's look ahead to Sunday. It might be the final day of your fantasy season. Let's get what is happening out of the way. Let's find the stream options and let's once more listen to Michael Bolton.
Thanks, Josh. It's Michael Bolton here, and it's time for another episode of the Locked On Fantasy Basketball Podcast. Let's get to it.
Let's get to it, indeed.
You are Locked On Fantasy, your daily NBA fantasy podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Hello and welcome to the Locked On Fantasy Basketball Podcast, brought to you by Basketball Monster. My name is Josh Lloyd and I am a certified oyster catcher. I'm also the lead fantasy analyst at basketballmonster.com, and you can find me on Blue Sky at joshloyd.bsky.social, on Twitter at redrock_bball, on TikTok at redrock_bball, and on Instagram at Locked On Fantasy Basketball. Today's episode is brought to you by Monarch Money. Take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use the code LOCKEDONNBA at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. Also, check out lockedondaily.com and find the newsletter, the best newsletter for your favorite NBA team. It's free. It's in your inbox 5 days a week. All the goings on about your team into your inbox every morning. Double bang over here and subscribe as well. And this might be the last day that you're playing fantasy for the season. I hope it's not the last time that you're watching this show, but I understand that for some of you, you'll just boot off, and that's okay. What I want to do is thank you for being here and being a part of the show, and you are a part of the show because I take a lot out of the interaction. I take a lot out of comments that people make, and I use that to form opinions not form opinions, but to know what people are thinking and to be able to look at, okay, that's correct, and maybe that needs to be assessed, and all that sort of stuff. So everyone being a part of this makes the show better. So thank you to everyone who has been watching. Again, we are doing shows. That is not stopping. I understand the reality that some people will stop watching. I don't want you to. I want you still here. But I understand that. So thank you if that is you. Also, don't go, please. All right, let's talk about Sunday. It's National Chip and Dip Day. So get your chips ready, get your dip ready, get your chip into your dip, and dip into talking about what we want to talk about here, which of course we're going to start just by looking over at the schedule, what we're talking about back-to-back wise for Sunday. We have known all week, in fact, we've known all season, that there is a weekend back-to-back here, and the only team that has it is the Atlanta Hawks. So they're playing Saturday, and they're playing Sunday. Is anybody at risk of resting there? Maybe Vit Krejci, who's been dealing with his back issue. Don't think so. Maybe Trae Young, who's on every single injury report as probable or questionable with a leg. Maybe Dracaris Levert, who is back for Saturday, but obviously issues with his knee. That's what we've got to watch. The big thing here is going to be the 5 teams that play the Sunday-Monday back-to-back if you go into next week. Boston, Denver, New Orleans, Philadelphia, and Toronto. Boston, Porzingis, Horford, Brown is already out on Sunday and maybe out Monday. Tatum, White, Holiday. Who's playing, who's not? The Nuggets, we know that Jokic is already out on Sunday. Gordon's the one to watch on the back-to-backs there as well. For the Pelicans, none of those guys are out. So Zion, CJ, Kelly Olynyk, and Bruce Brown are all listed available on Sunday. That's not true, actually. Zion's questionable with a back injury. But the others, Brown, Olynyk, and CJ, they might be up Monday, but they look like they're good for Sunday. The Sixers, well, look, guys, Maxey and Oubre aren't playing. Drummond's done. They're not coming back. And the Raptors are in, again, the midst of a period of time, and by period of time I mean the final 3 weeks of the season, where they just play all bad teams. So they've got a back-to-back here against the Spurs, and then into an unbelievable game against the Wizards on Monday. What we know for them already is that Quickly is out, Pirtle is out, Dick is out, and they've also put, AJ Lawson's back in the G League, but RJ Barrett's available. But then what happens on Monday? Is Pirtle playing? Is Quickly playing? I actually think that dropping Pirtle and Quickly makes a lot of sense. Like, you're not getting 4 games next week out of them. They play Washington, Brooklyn, Charlotte, Philadelphia. There's no way you're getting 4 games out of those guys. Same with Barrett. Yeah. But that is going to cause chaos. And, yeah, we're used to chaos at this time of the year, aren't we? Yes, we are. Thanks for the answer. Let's take a look at some chunky stuff Sunday through to Thursday. Which teams have 3 games over that 5-day period? Or which players are worth looking at? And some of them, I'm going to go, yeah, but be careful. Because Tristan Vukcevic and the Wizards, I don't know what they're going to do. They don't know what they're going to do. Well, maybe they do, but they're not telling us. Is AJ Johnson going to play 30 minutes or 10 minutes? Is Vucevic going to get minutes? I assume so, but what if they just dust off for Sean Holmes for some reason? I don't think they will. But 20 minutes of Vucevic or 25 minutes is a difference. I don't know. One guy I feel secure about is Wendell Carter Jr., 3 games in 5 nights. I'm not a big Wendell guy, but this is a good schedule period. Justin Edwards in the Sixers. He can be limited. We've seen them play him 38 or 25. But 3 games in 5 nights should deal with that. Andy Nembhard and the Pacers, again, they are pretty rock solid in terms of what they're doing. Now, Halliburton's back, but 3 games in 5 nights works. Max Christie and Spencer Dinwiddie in Dallas. Brandon Williams' minutes are down. Dinwiddie's playing 1,000,000 minutes, and he is actually cooking at the moment. He's actually cooking. And people would have dropped them. Rightfully so, because they played 2 games and they're off on the weekend. But now we can look at the chunky stuff here with starting with a Monday, Tuesday back-to-back for Dallas. That's worth looking at. If we want to look at 5s and 2s, which I apologize, I did not do 5s and 2s the last couple of days, and I should have, but I'm doing it now. So Sunday through to Saturday, there are 2 teams that play 2 games in 7 nights, the equivalent of a 2-game week. But because it doesn't start on a Monday, mainstream media just ignores that. But that's what we're here for. Warriors, Wolves, 2 games, 7 nights. So if you're thinking, oh, look, John Kuminga looks interesting, I might go and add Moses Moody because Steph's going to be out. By the way, Steph is just not playing this week. And if this is your final week, heading into this week, week 23, Steph is a drop. You just drop him. He's not playing. Like, done. The other one there is the Wolves. 2 games, 7 nights. Is DiVincenzo, Reed, McDaniels, borderline. Are they worth holding with 2 games over 7 nights? They've got 3 games for the week, but they've got a 3-day break in the middle of the week as well. In fact, 2 3-day breaks. Not good. No, it's not true. 1 3-day break, 2 little segments of 1 game in 5 nights. It's a really, really bad period. And if this is your final week, you can't deal with that with a lot of players. 2 games in 7 nights is horrid. What about injury statuses? The Pelicans, Zion, Yves Missi, Jose Alvarado. I put Bruce Brown there, but he's not on the injury report, so I think he's fine. But the other 3, Zion, Missi, and Alvarado are all questionable. Obviously, their absence or presence opens things up for Makovic, for, if Alvarado's out, Brown and Hawkins, Alfred Payton. Hang on, now I get confused. Which team did Alfred Payton actually sign with? I need to double check this. Yeah, he's with the Pelicans. Because he was with the Hornets earlier this year. And those 2 teams, obviously, a linked history. But yeah, now he's back with the Pelicans now, Alfred Payton. All right. So there'd be options there. Lauri Markkanen, he's missed the last couple of games. They do have, they got the reverse Raptors in terms of their schedule. They don't even have to try to lose games, I think. They play Cleveland, Memphis, Houston, Denver from Sunday through to Friday. The old Jazz. So does Lowry come back? Does Jordy Clarkson come back? I don't know. It's very hard to know. Bam Adebayo and Tyler Hero popped up as questionable for the Heat, who continued to lose. And low-key, are they tanking? If they sit both those guys, Adebayo and Hero, on the weekend, they're tanking. Like, they are. We want our lottery pick. That's, yeah. Obviously, the injuries in Toronto, we need to be aware of what they're doing. Mainly, it's Jacoby Walter who's returning, but we know the others. Quickly's out, Dick is out, Pirtle is out, Roden is out, Lawson is out, Ingram is out. But the question there will be Walter. And then in Portland, Donovan Clingan and Anthony Simons and Jeremy Grant were all out in the last game. So before we get excited about Delano Banton or guys like that, Dwop Reith, remember who was out, so we don't know whether they return. And then in Oklahoma City, Jalen Williams and Lou Dort. Both players have been out for a period of time, and if they return, then Joe and Wallace, Pig Williams, Aaron Wiggins, all those guys, their value very, very clearly drops. We're going to come back and talk streaming. Today's episode, though, it is, of course, brought to you by Monarch Money. Do you ever check your bank account and be like, hey, you sure about this? Where's the money? It's gone. I need my money. It's gone. What happened? I've been eating out. Oh, that's probably why. I've been online shopping. Movies, theater, illegal cockfights. I don't know. Whatever it is, the money may not be there. So Monarch Money is your personal CFO, giving you full visibility and control over your finances. It's a complete financial command center, the old Monarch Money, and it tracks all of your spending plus budgeting and goals in the one spot. So stop just managing your money and start building wealth. Instead of juggling multiple apps, you can use Monarch to check your finances, track your spending, and even plan long-term goals. So take control of your finance with Monarch Money. Use the code LOCKEDONNBA at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first order. That is monarchmoney.com. The code is Locked On NBA for half off your first year. Okay, let's take a look now at some streaming options. We'll start with Points Leagues, Yahoo, and ESPN Points Leagues. Understand that this point in the year, with teams like Philadelphia, Toronto, Utah, they are, and them and Washington, those four teams, again, maybe less so Utah, but those four teams are the four horsemen of the tanking apocalypse. They're the four teams that we have absolutely no idea what is going on with their rotations. It's going to change like the wind. So, yeah, they're the four teams, and three of them are playing on Sunday, which makes trying to project this stuff out pretty tough. So, I've got some names on this list, and you got Josh, that's crazy to have that guy on this list, and I understand that. But I've got Justin Edwards there. And is he crazy to have there? Not really. His last couple of games have been good, but also, don't get this twisted. Go look at his game log. I think 3 games ago, he played 25 minutes and barely did anything. It can go haywire very fast. I've got Kelly Olynyk there. Zion may not play. Misi may not play. Alvarado may not play. And Olynyk's not in the injury report. So, I'm in. The next one is where we get controversy. This man had a DNP CD last game. His name is Orlando Magic Robinson. He did not play. At all. Out of nowhere. But, Pirtle is not playing on Sunday. If Orlando Robinson gets DNP'd again on Sunday, I don't know what I'll do. It'll be something, I'll do something. Suggestions in the comments. If Robinson does not get on the court on Sunday with Pirtle out, well, I don't know then. I don't know what to do with that. So I know it's easy to go, he didn't play out of the rotation last game, so therefore, what are we doing? Because that's great. That did happen, and that was very unexpected. It would seem crazy if he didn't play on Sunday with no Pirtle there. But bloody hell, it's nerve-wracking. I know that. Jared Butler also has been trash. He's getting 27 minutes, but he's been terrible. And they're limiting Jeff Doughton because he's got the 2-way games limit. But, do I go back to Butler? Maybe. And then I go, John Mobo. Am I really going to do that? What about Jamal Shed with Emmanuel Quickley? I remember that time when Jamal Shed started and he was playing too well, so they benched him. These are incredibly risky. But they're the guys who are widely available. And if they pop, they pop big. And I haven't even projected them super highly. They're just, in a really good spot. ESPN points, it's pretty similar. Justin Edwards, he's probably the safest guy because I just know that he's going to start and play. Then we go to Vit Krejci. I guess there's a small risk that he doesn't play because it's a back-to-back. And then we go to Jared Butler, Jamal Shed, Carl Olynyk. No, that's Kelly's dad. Kelly Olynyk, and then Milk Jerome, who the Cavs play a pretty easy opponent. It's the Jazz. So do they limit Garland, Mitchell, Mobley, Allen? Do they play 27 minutes each? Does Milk get included in that and I play 18 minutes and we get a lot of Craig Porter? That's possible too. But I do think Jerome is at least worth considering in that particular spot. For points leagues, let's go to the points category. Who are we streaming in? Over there, we're going to look at Justin Edwards again. Do I feel good about it? Of course I don't. Why would I feel good about that? Milk Jerome, pretty good one as well. The next one is risky. The man went 20 minutes, 31 minutes. And I go, okay, what are we doing here with the pencil Harrison Barnes? Barnesy! Yeah, I don't know. I need some vocal cord training exercises. O'Shea Brissett is there. Do I feel bloody good about that? Of course I do not. But this, I believe, is the final day of Brissett's 10-day contract. They can sign him to another one, but this will be his final day. So, and he's been starting, and I think a lot of guys are going to be out again, so he's there. I'm going to go with Dennis Schroder because I do not think that Tim Hardaway is going to play. He sprained his ankle, looked pretty bad. He was in a boot. Now, if it was the Bulls, they'd call him questionable. But it's not. So Hardaway's out, right? So Dennis Schroder should be able to do more. He played 30 minutes last game. So we are, as you can tell on the thumbnail, if I remember to put him on the thumbnail, I think we're in Dennis Schroder's territory here. And then Jordy Hawkins. Alvarado could be out. Zion could be out. Hawkins could be bad. In fact, likely is. But if there's one thing he does, if he only does it occasionally, it's score. That's all he does. So, we try it. 3-pointers. Jaylen Brown is out. And Sam Hauser's played 28 or 29 minutes the last 3 games. Now, he can be one of the biggest turd servers of all time. He can have 3 points very easily, even if the minutes are up. But he could have 15 with 5 threes, comfortably. So we got in there. Justin Edwards. That's a name I haven't heard in a long time. 2 minutes ago. Vit Krejci. Dunk Robinson. If Hero is out, Robinson is almost 100% starting. The Winter Soldier Max Strus is there for threes, and the minivan himself, George Niang, for the Atlanta Hawks, another option that we can take a look at. For assists, it is not an easy thing. We know this. That is why sometimes you might have to take a chance on Jamal Shed. Maybe get 5. Maybe you take a chance on Jared Butler and get 6. Maybe we go to the man on the mirror, the thumbnail. Is that, yeah, Dennis Schroder. What about Davion Mitchell? Is he going to, like last game they started Jaime Jaquez Jr., who played 14 minutes. What's the bet that Spoelstra changes the lineup again? And does Mitchell go back to start? Does Robinson start? Does Highsmith start? Does Ware keep starting? He's played 30 minutes 2 in a row, Khalil. No, let's go Davion. Vit Krejci is an assists stream option there as well, as is Kelly Olynyk. I'll tell one thing that gets on my nerves. It doesn't really, but it's annoying. But I do call players nicknames a lot, actually. Happens quite a bit. But people give me credit in the wrong spot. Not even credit. Say to Kelly Olynyk. Oh, yeah, lunch late. That's a Josh Lloyd nickname. Never. That's the first time I've ever said that word, I think, out loud. Never once have I called Kelly like that. I didn't call him that nickname. It is not my nickname. I hate the nickname. I think it's a terrible nickname. There's something off about it. I don't like it. It's not for me. So yeah, don't ever say that I invented the lunch lady nickname, because I did not. If you want to say the big sneeze, cool, go for it. If you want to say the burner Jalen Brunson, go for it. Do all those ones. If you want to do Punch Bob, cool, happy with that. Not lunch lady. No, not taking that one. Let's get into steals now. Look at which other guards double up here. Alex Caruso, the Rabbit Hunter. I'll take that. There was an assist from a listener on that. So then we sort of worked with the information, with the little prompt they gave. So I'm happy with that one. Rabbit Hunter. Justin Edwards is there again. That's a name, again, that just keeps popping up. And every time I say that, I go, it's a name I haven't heard. I'm going back to the Ben Kenobi, Obi-Wan Kenobi, scene from A New Hope. And then that immediately takes me to Cerveza Crystal. And now I can't get it out of my head. So anyway, Justin Edwards is there for steals. What about Chuma Okeke, who is playing an insane amount of minutes, and his 10 days got 5 days left or 4 days left. And I'd imagine they just keep rolling with him. And it could be terrible, but it could be good. But one thing he does do is get steals. I've got Bruce Brown there as well, who's been playing more minutes than Jose Alvarado, so we're in there. Milk Jerome and Chris Dunn, even though Bogdanovic started the second half over Dunn in the last game. In 21 or 22 minutes, you can still get 2 to 3 steals out of Dunny. For free throw percentage, we're going to Ty Jerome. We're going to Dennis Schroder. We're going to Jared Butley. Jesus, that's not his name. Jared Butler, Amir Coffey, the Farmers Union, Ricky Council, the fourth, the mayor, and then Bryce Sensabaugh, who could be a disaster play. For rebounds, we go to the bigs. Again, I don't want to feel good about this because Orlando Robinson's there. He projects really well, but I just don't know. What about Steve Adams, who's played like 20 minutes the last 2 games? Big Steve. Is Adams a chance to get socks rebounds? Maybe. Maybe he gets double socks and gets 12. Whatever it is, Adams has been playing a lot more, and there's value in using him for this. The Night Watchman, Mohamed Waayuge, he is there as a rebound stream. He's starting for the Hawks. There is no Clint Capella. Not that he's really playing in his center, but he's there. And then we get to some spuds in Toronto. John Mobo. Colin Castleton still exists. I believe this is the final day for his 10-day. I'm going to double check that because, again, I don't want to mislead you. Let me have a look. Big Cole Castleton. No, he's got 2 more, actually. Sunday, Monday are the 2 days left, and then they have to decide if they're going to turn him into a full-time contract or they're going to bring somebody else in on another 10-day to just see what other players can bring. I think they'll keep him. And then for other rebound option there is Kelly Olynyk. For blocks, with Jokic out, Peyton Watson should get 25 to 28 minutes, and that's 4 block upside. I go to Isaiah Stewart. I got Mohamed Gay, who's a 3 block sort of a guy. Carlo Makovic, who's probably only a 2 block guy in 20 minutes. Colin Castleton, he could play 30, he could play 20. Depends how they want to use him and Mobo and Robinson. And then Luke Cornett is also there because I do think there is a chance of somebody resting. We already know Jaylen Brown's out, but could it be Horford? Could it be Porzingis? And if not, they're going to go double big a little bit more, and that means more opportunities there for the big fella. Luke Cornett. For free throw percentage, Colin Castleton is there. We've got Luke Cornett again. Moussa Diabate, even though Mark Williams returns, Diabate is 12 to 14 minutes, should be somewhat useful. Isaiah Stewart, Steven Adams and Dominic Barlow, the Trojan. He's there as well as another option for field goal percentage. And that is the end of the show. That's the streaming show done, dusted, in the basket. It's finished, it's cooked, we're off. It's National Chip and Dip Day. Go get your dip it in your chip. That's the other way around, actually. Go do that. Subscribe here, thumb up. And again, if you've been here with the show all season, thank you. If you're deciding to leave, boo, but also thank you. Come back. We've got a lot of stuff going on. I understand. You know what? If you want to and you're not playing at the moment, for the next couple of weeks, you don't have to watch the show. You can just have it on the background. You can download it. You can still double bang. But when the regular season's over, come back because we're going to have a lot of interesting stuff. But I understand if the transactional minutia of the next 3 weeks for fantasy leagues doesn't appeal to you if you're not playing. So I get that part of it. Come back in 3 weeks, end of the regular season. We'll have stuff going on. Guys, we are done here. Thank you so much for listening, everyone. See ya.